Hello, welcome to our channel Learn to Score. In this video, I am going to discuss how to convert rational numbers from their rational form to decimal form and converting rational numbers given in decimal form to their rational form. I hope you will like the video. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you. Let us learn about decimal representation of rational numbers now. The numbers that are expressed as p by q, where p and q are integers and q not equal to 0, are called rational numbers, right? We want to represent rational numbers in their decimal form. For example, let us consider a rational number 25 by 16. Before learning to represent this as in decimal form, you know that 25 by 16 can be written as 25 divided by 16, right? We have used division method to find the value of the quotient remainder, right? Let's quickly recall that. When you divide 25 with 16, the quotient is going to be 1. So when you subtract 16 from 25, what you get is 9 as the remainder, right? We know that dividend is equal to divisor times coefficient plus remainder. In this particular case, 25 can be written as 25 equal to 16 times 1 plus 9, where 9 is the remainder, 1 is the quotient, and 16 is the divisor, and 25 is the dividend, right? But this is called simple division process. This is not what we want to do in this particular video. What we want to do is we want to express 25 by 16 in the decimal form, right? We want to express a given rational number in its decimal form. Let's learn how to do that now. Let's express 25 by 16 in decimal form. For that, now I write 25 as 25.0000. 4 zeros I have written it up. Now there is, for example, you can write it as 25 equal to 25.10, right? Because after dot, if you have only 0, it makes no difference, right? Its value is 25 only. I can also say that it is equal to 25.00, right? Like that, I can have as many zeros as required, or as many zeros I want, right? Now let's divide this with 16. As we have seen earlier, 16 times 1 is 16. Let's subtract that. When you subtract, what you do is you change the sign and then simply add 25 minus 16 is 9, right? Now you observe the dot here, right? After 25 we have the dot, so we got now 9. Okay, then in the quotient we have to put dot, right? After doing that, we can bring this 0 down. Once I bring this 0 down, what we have is 90, right? So now start reading the multiplication table of 16. 5 times 16 is 80, right? Now let's subtract that from 90. When you subtract 80 from 90, you get 10, right? Now I can bring down this particular 0 here, right? When I do that, it becomes 100, right? 6 times 16 is 96. Now let's subtract 96 from 100. When you subtract 96 from 100, you got 4 as the answer, right? Now let's bring the third 0 I have written up. So that becomes, now 4 becomes 40, right? 2 times 16 is 32. Let's subtract 32 from 40. When you do that, what you get is 8, right? Now let me bring this particular 0 down. When you do that, 8 becomes 80. 5 times 16 is 80. right? Now the remainder, when you subtract 80 from 80, the remainder is 0, right? This is what we are looking for. Once you got remainder 0, now it means that you have expressed 25 by 16 in the decimal form that is given by the coefficient of the division process, right? Now let me write 25 by 16 in the decimal form as 1.5625. Please note this. When you read this, you say 1.5625. You don't read it as 5625. After dot, whatever digits are there, you read those digits independently, right? So that's why we read it as 1.5625. The division method, whatever we have learned now to get the decimal form of a given rational number, is called long division method. Please note this. Let's take a look at another problem. Now let us express 17 by 5 in the decimal form. For that, I can write 17 as 17.0 or 17.00 or 17.000, doesn't matter, right? But I have written only two zeros for a purpose. You will understand that why we have only written two. In the case of earlier problem, we have written four zeros, right? Now let me divide that with 5. So consider 17. Of course, you can consider 1 also to begin with. Otherwise, you can consider 17. 3 times 5 is 15. Let's subtract 15 from 17, right? When you subtract, what you get is 2. Now you observe here, after 17, we have a dot. So that dot has to go here also, right? Now let me put a dot on the coefficient side. Once you do that, I can bring this particular 0 down, right? Let me bring it. So I have now 20 in place of 2. We know that 4 times 5 is 20. Let's subtract 20 from 20. When you subtract, what you get is 0. You see, we now got the remainder as 0 and quotient as 3.4, right? Though I have written up two zeros, what I have brought down is only 1 0, right? So a priori, you don't need to, or in the beginning of the problem itself, you don't need to write so many zeros. Okay, if there is a need be, you can keep adding zeros like this, right? But in this case, only 1 0 was sufficient for us to get the remainder as 0, right? Now I can write 17 by 5 in the decimal form as 3.4, right? Now let's take a look at another problem. Express 1 by 2 in the decimal form. We know the answer, right? 1 by 2 is called half, that is equal to 0.5, but let's try to do that here. So after 1 point, I have two zeros. As I said earlier, you can have 1 0 and keep adding as you require, right? Now let's divide that with 2. You see, what we have before decimal is 1, right? It is smaller than 2. So what I'm going to do is, I'll multiply 2 with 0. So that 2 times 0 is equal to 0. Now let me subtract that from 1. If I subtract 0 from 1, what I get is 1, right? Now you see, after 1 we have dot. This particular dot has to be there now on coefficient side also. Now I can bring this particular 0 down. When I bring it, the 1 has become now 10, right? We know 5 times 2 is 10. Now let's subtract 10 from 10. When you subtract, what you get is 0 as the answer, a remainder, right? Since the remainder is 0, we can say that 1 by 2 is equal to 0.5. Let's write that. So as you have learned, just now, this particular method is called long division method. Please note this. Now let's express 8 divided by 125 or 8 by 125 in the decimal form, right? As I said earlier, we can have after 8 and point, I can have 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, doesn't matter. I have written already 4 zeros for convenience sake. Now let's divide this with 125. We know that 8 is much smaller number compared to 125, right? So let me multiply 125 with 0, right? 0 times 125 is 0. We can now subtract 0 from 8. When I do that, I get 8, right? Now this dot has to go here in the quotient. Now let me write that dot. Once I write that dot, I have to bring this 0 down, right? Let me bring it down. So now what we have is 80, right? But you see this 80 is also smaller than 125, right? 125 into 1 is 125, which is much bigger than 80. That's why what I do is 125 times 0 again, that is equal to 0. Now let me subtract 0 from this 80. When I subtract, I'll have 80 as the answer. Now let me bring down this particular 0. When I do that, 80 has become 800. Now you start multiplying 125 with 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, so that 125 times 6 is 750. Now let's subtract 750 from 800. When you do that, you have answer as 50, right? So now let me bring this particular 0 down. Once that comes down, 50 has become 500. Now 125 into 4 is 500, right? Subtract 500 from 500. So you got remainder as 0, right? It means the quotient 0.064 is equal to 8 by 125, right? Let's write that. This is what we wanted to do when you want to represent a given rational number in its decimal form, right? Let us now learn about non-terminating recurring decimals. Let us consider 5 by 3 and express it in decimal form. As I said earlier, 5 can be written as 5.000, we can have as many zeros as required. Now let's divide that with 3. We know that 1 times 3 is 3, right? Let's subtract 3 from 5. So you got 2 as the answer, right? You see here that after 5 we have dot. It means the dot has to appear in the quotient also. Please note this. Once you write the dot there, you bring down 0. So 2 has become now 20, right? 6 times 3 is 18. Now let's subtract that from 20. When you do that, you get 2 as the answer. Now bring this particular 0 down. So 2 has now become 20. 6 times 3 is 18. You subtract. Again, you got 2 as the answer. You bring down this particular 2 now. Sorry, this particular 0 now. The 2 has become now 20. Again, 6 times 3, that is equal to 18. When you subtract 18 from 20, you have 2 as the answer. Now I can bring the last 0 also. Of course, as I said earlier, I can have as many zeros as required, right? But I'm bringing the fourth 0 down so that it become 20. The 2 has become 20 now. 6 times 3, that is 18. When you subtract, again you are getting 2 as the answer, right? So I can bring further zeros down and repeat this process. But what happens is, as I keep adding zeros, I'll be keep getting number of sixes here, right? As zeros are increasing here, you're getting more and more sixes here, right? But you are never going to get 0 as the remainder, right? This is what the difference we have compared to the earlier problems we have seen. In those cases, all the time we were getting remainder as 0, right? Whereas here, the number 2 is coming out to be the remainder, and once you bring down 0, it is becoming 20, and you are subtracting 18 from 20 and again getting 2, right? So now what I'm saying is, instead of keep on doing this, I say that 5 by 3 is equal to 1.6666 dot 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 dot. It means, as many sixes you can get. You can write even 100 sixes, 200 sixes, doesn't matter. Still it continues, right? This is what is called non-terminating recurring decimals. Your number 6 in this particular case is recurring. It is keep on coming and it is not going to terminate, right? So one way to do is you can write it as 5 by 3 equal to 1.6666 and so on. Otherwise you can write it as 5 by 3 equal to 1.6. On that 6 you have a bar, over bar. You see, once you say this over bar, what does it mean is that it is going to recur, it is going to repeat. Got it? Now let's take a look at another problem. Consider 11 by 19, sorry, 11 by 9 and express it in decimal form. I can write 11 as 11.0000, right? Now let's divide that with 9. In the long division process, when we do, we know that 9 times 1 is 9. Let's subtract 9 from 11. You got 2 as the answer, right? So since we have after 11 we have dot, the dot has to appear even on the quotient side. Let's write that. After that you bring this particular 0 down so that 2 has become now 20. We know 2 times 9 is 18. Let's subtract that from 20. Once you do that you get 2 as the answer. Now let me bring the second 0 down so that it has become 20. 2 times 9, 18. When you subtract, you are getting again 2 as the answer, right? You bring down another 0. So, the process is sort of repeating, right? But let's do that for some more time. When you subtract 18 from 20, you're getting 2 as the answer, right? Let me bring the fourth 0 I have written up that down so that 2 becomes 20. When you subtract, you're getting 2 as the answer, right? It means the remainder is kept on going as 0, sorry, as 2, right? Let's stop here and say that 11 by 9 equal to 1.2222 and so on. You see, so many dots I have put. Because once you put these three dots, it means that it is a recurring one or repeating. Okay, so 11 by 9 can be now written as 1.2 with 2 having over bar, right? When you have bar over number 2, it means that number 2 is going to repeat so many times, right? Now let's see another problem. Let us consider 14 by 11 and express it in decimal form. I'm writing 14.0000. Now let's divide this with 11. 1 times 11 is 11. So you subtract that from 14. So what you have is 3 as the answer. Now you consider this particular dots. It has to appear even in the quotient side. So let's do that. And then bring this particular 0 down. So now 3 becomes 30, right? 2 times 11 is 22. When you subtract, you got 8 as the answer, right? Now let me bring this particular 0 down so that it has become 80. Right? 7 times 11 is 77. When you subtract it, you're getting 3 as the answer, right? You bring this particular 0 down now, the third one. So 3 becomes 30. 2 times 11 is 22. When you subtract 22 from 30, you get 8 as the answer, right? Now let me bring the last or the fourth 0, whatever I have written, down so that it becomes 8 becomes 80. 7 times 11, 77. When you subtract, you're getting 3 as the answer. If you observe this, we got 3 here in this particular case, and then we got 8, then 3, 8. The reminders for the subtraction are now not the same number. In the earlier case, it was just number 2, but in this case, it is changing, right? Once it is 3, the next time it is 8, next time again it is 3, then 8. It is going like that, right? 3, 8, 3, 8, and so on. And if you observe the quotient after dot, you're getting 2, 7, 2, 7, and so on, right? So what I'm going to write now is stop this division process and say that 14 by 11 equal to 1.2727 and so on. As you see here, these two digits are repeating, right? For that reason, what we can say is 14 by 11 equal to 1.27 with overbar on both the digits, 27. When you represent 14 by 11 as 1.27 with overbar on 27, it means that it is equivalent to 1.27272727 and so on, right? Now let's learn about converting decimal form to rational form. First one, we are going to learn about terminating decimals. Let us express 0.5 in the rational form. We know 0.5 equal to 1 by 2, right? But let's try to do that in a systematic manner so that we can learn the process, right? 0.5 is a terminating decimal, right? Because we don't have overbar on 0.5, right? If I write 0.5 overbar, it means it is not just 0.5, it is going to be 0.555555 and so on, right? But that is not the case. That's why we say it is terminating decimal. 0.5 can be written as 0.5 by 1. Do you call this a rational number? No, right? The reason for that is 0.5 is not an integer. When you say a given number has to be in the form of p by q, we said that p and q are integers, right? 0.5 is not an integer. That's why if you write just like this and say that this is the rational form, this is not correct, right? We have to have both the numerator and denominator as integers. And denominator should not be equal to 0. That is another requirement, right? So 0.5 can be written as 0.5 by 1. If you observe, 0.5 has one digit after decimal, right? That is just number 5, one digit after the dot. For that reason, what I say is, let's multiply the numerator and denominator of this particular ratio with number 10. When I do that, I can write it as 0.5 times 10 divided by 1 times 10, right? When I have 0.5 times 10, the idea is if I have 0.5 times 10, the multiplication with 10 makes this dot go onto the right side, move to the right side by one digit. We are multiplying, since we are multiplying with 10, the dot is going to move by one digit. For example, if you have 0.5 into 100, right? This can be written as 0.5 0 into 100 also, right? We said that after the dot, if you have additional zeros, it is not going to make any difference. 0.50 is equal to 0.5, right? So let me multiply with 100. Since 100 has got two zeros, when you multiply, what happens is this dot will move two digits. It means this becomes 50. In this particular case, 0.5 into 100 is 50. Whereas 0.5 into 10 is 5 because it moved only one digit, right? You can write 5 or 5.0, doesn't matter. You can write it as 5.0 also. Now, since we said that 0.5 times 10 is going to move this particular dot by one digit, I can say that the numerator is going to be 5 and denominator 1 times 10 that is 10. So 0.5 is now written as 5 by 10. This is the rational form, right? Both numerator and denominator are integers. So you can stop here. That is one way to do. Otherwise, since we know that 5 and 10 have common factor of 5, I can divide both the numerator and denominator with number 5. When I do that, numerator becomes 1 and denominator becomes 2, right? So I can say that 0.5 is equal to half. Now what we have done, we have expressed the number which is given in its decimal form as a rational number, right? Even 5 by 10 is also a rational number, but we have written 5 by 10 as 1 by 2. And please note that 1 by 2 is the simplest form of 0.5. 5 by 10 is also a rational number, but 1 by 2 is the simplest form of rational number representing 0.5. Okay, when you say simplest form, it means that the numerator and denominator cannot be further simplified. Okay, because they have only one factor, that is number 1. Right? Let's see another problem. Let's express 0.25 in the rational form now. Okay, so can I write 0.25 as 0.25 divided by 1? Right? As I said earlier, this is not the rational number. So now let me see this. I have after dot, I have 2 digits in 0.25, right? So as I said earlier, since there are 2 digits here, let's multiply the numerator and denominator of this particular ratio with 100, right? 0.25 into 100, if I have 0.25 into 100, since there are 2 zeros here, this particular dot moves 2 digits to the right side. It means I can write it as 25.0 or 25, right? So the numerator becomes 25 and the denominator becomes 100, right? 25 by 100. You see, you can use fifth table. 5 times 5 is 25. 20 times 5 is 100. Now again, 5 and 20 have common factor as 5. So let's divide this with 5, that is 1, and divide this with 5, that is 4. So 25 by 100 now can be written as 1 by 4, right? So let me write 0.25 as 1 by 4. So as I said earlier, we have expressed 0.25 as a rational number in its simplest form or simple form. Even 25 by 100 is also equal to 0.25. That is also a rational number, right? But we chose to express it as a rational number in its simple form or simplest form, right? 1 by 4 is the simplest form of 0.25. Let's solve another problem. Let's express 15.75 in the rational form, right? Now, if you observe, after dot, we have 2 digits, right? It means we have to multiply both the numerator and denominator with 100, right? When you do that, 15.75 times 100, that takes this particular dot to the right by 2 digits, right? Because we are multiplying with a number that is 100, which has got 2 zeros, right? That's why it moves the dot by 2 digits to make it 1575, and denominator is 100. Now you have 1575 divided by 100. You can say that 15.75 is equal to 1575 divided by 100. That is one way to say that we have expressed 15.75 in the rational form. But better way is to simplify further. You see, both the numerator and denominator can be divided with number 5. When you do divide with number 5 of the numerator, what you get is 315, right? This is 3, this is 1, and 25 you have 315, right? And denominator, 20 times 5 is 100. So 315 by 20. You see again here also we can divide both the numerator and denominator with 5, right? Let's do that. This is 6 times 5, 30. You have 1 as the remainder. It means it is 15 3 times. And this is 4 times. 63 by 4. So now, 63 by 4 have no common factor. Only the common factor you have is number 1, right? That's why we can say that 63 by 4 is the simplest form of this number 15.75 in the rational form. So let me write 15.75 equal to 63 by 4. Is this the answer we are looking for? Yes, right? So let me write 63 by 4 is the simplest form of 15.75, or we can say that 15.75 equal to 63 by 4, which is a rational number in its simplest form, right? Now let us learn about converting decimal form to rational form for non-terminating and recurring decimal. Please note this. We want to convert non-terminating recurring decimal to its rational form. Let us express 0.4 over bar in the rational form. We know that 0.4 with over bar can be written as 0.4444 and so on, right? Let me assume that as x. You observe here, as you see here, number 4 is repeating multiple times, right? Only one digit, that is number 4, is repeating, right? That's why we can say that periodicity of this particular decimal is 1, right? Since only one digit is repeating, we say that periodicity of the given decimal is 1. For that reason, I say that x equal to 0.4444 has to be multiplied with 10 on both the sides. Why 10? Since only one digit is repeating, I want to have only one zero after 1. That's why it is 10. So let's multiply both sides by 10. So it becomes 10 times x equal to 0.4444 and so on times 10, right? So this can be written as 10x and this can be written as 4.4444 and so on, right? That's what we have learned. When you multiply a decimal with number 10, since it has got one zero, this particular dot will shift by one digit towards right. That's why I can write it as 10x equal to 4.4444 and so on. Let me write that. And we know that x can be written as 0.4444 and so on, as shown here, right? Now let's write that below 10x. Now if you observe, we are putting this dot, both the dots in the same line, you see, right? 4.4444 and so on, 0.444, sorry, 0.4444 and so on, right? These dots are aligned on a straight line. Now let's subtract. When you want to subtract, what we are going to do is change the sign on both the sides, right? Now 10x minus 1x is 9x, 4.4444 and so on minus 0.4444 and so on is 4, right? You see, this leads to 0, this leads to 0, and this leads to 0, right? And 4 minus 0 is 4, right? So 9x equal to 4.000 and so on. Actually, if you write, you would be writing it as 4.000 and so on equal to 9x. Or otherwise, you can write it as 9x equal to 4. 9x equal to 4 means x equal to 4 by 9, right? So you see here, both the numerator and denominator are integers. That's why this particular ratio is a rational number, right? Now we got x equal to 0.4 over bar expressed as 4 by 9. Let's say that 0.4, 4, 4 and so on is equal to 4 by 9. Let's take a look at another problem. Let's express 0.54 over bar in the rational form. Let's assume that x equal to the given number, right? Here, if you expand it, the given number 0.54 over bar can be written as 0.54, 54, 54, 54, and so on, right? As you see here, two digits, 5 and 4, are repeating. Since two digits are repeating, I say that periodicity of the given decimal is number 2. Since periodicity is 2, I say that both the sides of this particular equation has to be multiplied by 100. Why 100? Since we got two digits repeating, we want to have two zeros. When you multiply both the sides by 100, it can be written as 100x equal to 0.545454 and so on times 100. When you multiply like this with two zeros, what happens to this dot is it will move two digits to the right. Now I can say that 100x equal to 54.54545454 and so on, right? Let's write that. X is given, x equal to 0.545454 and so on. Let's write that below the given expression and let's subtract it. When you have written, as we have discussed earlier, these dots have to be on the same straight line. Please note this, right? That's why we have written 0 0 here or 0 here, and then after dot 0.545454 is continuing. So when you subtract, you change the sign on both the sides. 100 minus 100x minus x is 99x. 54.545454 and so on minus 0.545454 and so on becomes 54. It means 99x equal to 54.000000 and so on, right? Or otherwise I can say 99x equal to 54. X equal to 54 by 99, right? This can be further simplified, or otherwise you can say that this is the rational form, right? Because both numerator and denominator are integers. Another option is you simplify it. When you simplify, both the numerator and denominator can be divided with number 9, right? 6 times 9 is 54 and 11 times 9 is 99. That's why x equal to 6 by 11. So to answer the question, you say the given decimal number, the recurring decimal, non-terminating recurring decimal, that is 0.545454 over bar, sorry, 545454 and so on, which is expressed as 0.54 over bar equal to 6 by 11, or otherwise you can say even 54 by, right? Now let's see another problem. Express 15.732 where 32 is only having the over bar in the rational form. 15.732 over bar can be assumed as x, okay? And it means x equal to 15.7323232 and so on, right? This 323232 are repeating, right? How many digits are repeating here? Two digits, right? Number 3 is one digit and number 2 is another digit that is repeating. That's why we say that two digits are repeating. That's why periodicity of the decimal is 2. It means we have to multiply both the sides of this particular equation with 100, which has got two zeros. So when you multiply both sides by 100, it becomes 100 times x equal to 15.7323232 and so on times 100. When you multiply this number with 100, what happens is this dot will shift to the right by two digits because you have two zeros here. When you do that, you can write it as 100x equal to 1573.23232323 and so on, right? Let's write that. And we know x equal to 15.7323232 and so on, right? Let's write this way. Now, as you have seen here, the dot is going on the same line, right? When you subtract 100x minus x is 99x, that is fairly simple. And this 2 and this 2 becomes 0. This 3 goes to 0. When you subtract 2 goes to 0. This is also going to 0. But here you have 2 and 7. You cannot subtract 7 from 2. That's why you would be borrowing 1 from this side so that it becomes 12, right? Then 12 minus 7, that is going to be 5. And here you have just 2. 2 minus 5, you cannot do it. So you will be borrowing 1. So this becomes 12 again, right? And this becomes 6. 12 minus 5 is 7. And now 6 minus 1 is 5. Let's write all that. 99x equal to 1557.5000 and so on. Actually, I have written only 10, but we have to put so many zeros and then dot dot dot. Right? 99x equal to 1557.5000 and so on. It means I can write x equal to 1557.5 divided by 99. You see here you have a ratio of two numbers. But this is not an integer. The numerator is not an integer, right? That's why you should not stop here. What you would be doing now is you would be multiplying both numerator and denominator so that this dot will go to the right side, right? When you multiply, it becomes 15,575 divided by 990. You can stop here and say that 15.732 with overbar on 32 is equal to 15,575 divided by 990. One can simplify it, but I am stopping here. I hope you like the video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel Learn to Score. Thank you.